Morning, or I guess maybe it's almost afternoon. It's 11:45 or so here on February the 10th, right? Wow, February's flying through here. Pastor Greg here, Faith Lutheran Church, Harvey, North Dakota, coming to you to just touch base and see where you are and hope that all is going well for you. Always kind of fun to do these little videos on Midweek, and I hope that you find them helpful, and that the little devotional time we do together is worthwhile. So, not a whole lot's changed here. We're continuing to worship on Sunday, although this Sunday we will offer communion in two formats. So we'll continue with utilizing the individual cups for those who are concerned, and then we will restart our continuous communion as we had done it prior to Christmas already. Wow, it's been that long. So we're looking forward to bringing that to those who are looking for that type of communion. And I just ask, that you just decide which way you want to do it. No judgments here, no concerns. Your comfort and your concern is as important to me as anything else. So do take that into mind. Also, coming up this week, we have Ash Wednesday. Can you believe we're beginning Lent just in a week? So Ash Wednesday is not today; it's next week, and we will have an Ash Wednesday service at 6:30, and that will include the imposition of ashes again for anyone who would want to come up and receive them. No judgment on that at all in the process, and I'm still working out the way that's all going to work. But we'll also have communion that evening as well, as is the tradition, as is the worship service for Ash Wednesday calls for, as we begin our march down a path to that final day where Jesus has his final supper with his disciples and says, "Do this." So we're looking forward to walking through Lent with you as well. So on Ash Wednesday as well, there will be no Wednesday evening Bible school. Although we highly recommend and suggest and ask that you come with and join us in our Ash Wednesday service. It should be about 45 minutes, 40 minutes, somewhere in there. And we will hear from, I'm not sure. I didn't write it down and I can't remember. So we will hear from one of the characters of the Bible as the message for that evening. So I'm looking forward to that as well. So that's kind of where we are. I have nothing more really worship-wise. We're still working out the kinks of Easter and how that's going to look. So do join us, or plan on joining us and keeping track of those. I should say too, we will have Wednesday evening services following Ash Wednesday. It's important for us to understand we're going to start at 6. So the worship service will start at 6. There will be no meal for the people attending worship, as has been done in the past. At least as of today, I don't know if that's going to change or not. I'll let you know. And then that gives us time, by starting at 6, gives us time to feed the kids following and prior to Wednesday evening Bible study time. So that's kind of the thought process behind it. It's a little departure from norm, but again, it's all right. Everything's been a little different this year, and so that's kind of the way it is. So that's what I got to say about that. You can always let me know what you think, where your thoughts are, and how your feelings are on that. So for this coming Sunday, of course, because it's the Sunday before Ash Wednesday, or before we begin Lent, is Transfiguration Sunday. I've got my things right over here. Excuse me. Transfiguration Sunday, and so we have the Transfiguration texts. They're always the same. It's always Jesus going up on the hill with Peter, James, and John, and he transfigures into this intense white light, and the three see it. Peter wants to build some tents, and you know, uh, I'm sure you've heard the story. If you've not, that's great. So go ahead and stop now and take a look at that. We're using Mark's version this year because we're in that season or that year in the lectionary. So it's Mark 9 verses 2 through 9, and just take a quick look at that and then come back. Or, like I said, I always say, just plow through with me. So there's lots going on in this text. From the beginning to the end, and where it's placed in Mark's process is important to understand, and all of those things we could go there. But I wanted to concentrate a little bit on Peter today. Peter's interesting. This is an interesting verse. Peter says to Jesus, it starts on verse 5, and what I'm looking at is verse 6. It says, and Peter said to Jesus, "Rabbi, it is good that we are here. Let us make 3 tents, one for you, one for you, one for Moses, and one for Elijah." And then verse 6 says, "For he did not know what to say, for they were terrified." They were terrified in seeing Jesus transfigured in front of them, and this idea that they had seen Moses and Elijah while Jesus is talking to them. It's an interesting dynamic, but Peter was afraid. Now, this isn't the first time that I'm sure Peter was afraid, but he didn't know what to do because he was afraid. So he came up with the best thing he could think of. Let's build some tents. And let's not go in, again, that's another story. But Peter was afraid. He did not know what to say. And then the important thing comes out right after that. With Jesus, or with the cloud coming and the voice from above, just like Jesus' baptism. But the voice from above, "This is my beloved Son, listen to him." And I think the thought process here that I want us to kind of walk down is this idea that we're supposed to listen to Jesus, not to what we think. For instance, building the tents on on this mount won't do a bit of good for anybody. What's it for? Are we supposed to put these 3 men in, these 3 deities in these tents and keep them there? Or are they there for us to climb up to and worship these tents? But no. This is my beloved Son. Listen to him. That's where we're supposed to be. There are times where we're going to be fearful and afraid of what we see in what Jesus is doing in our lives. If you have anybody that's had a life-altering experience because of the Lord, I'm sure you know several of them. Or just even when you talk with other pastors or pastors who have gone through their call process, there's this idea of hearing the Lord and this idea of seeing what the Lord wants you to do, and then there's this fear that sets in, and you're not sure what to do, so you just take some steps. And we're being reminded to stop, take a step, and listen to the Lord. Listen to Jesus, and he'll get you through. He'll walk with you through that process. And that's really where we are today. And of course, what does Jesus do and tell these men? Let's go down the mountain. We got things to do. We got time to do all of these things. We need to move forward. We can't hang up here on top of the mountain. That's not where we're supposed to be. We're supposed to be going down the mountain and doing the things we're called to do. So that's what I want you to do today is to remember is that there are times when you hear the Lord that you're going to be in fear of him, in awe of him, afraid, but trust in the Lord and listen to him. Don't listen to the others. Listen to him. Well, that's all I got to say about that for today. So prayers, just pray for, again, things to continue to move forward in a positive way. More people are being vaccinated, which means there's going to be fewer infections, which means that we'll finally begin to overcome some of this. Now, up here in Harvey, North Dakota, we're pretty okay. We've not had any active cases in several weeks like several days at least. I'm not sure how long it is, but that's good news. I just got notice that the nursing home is going to begin worship services on Sundays again for their residents, our long-term care, and that's good news. It's a very limited ability to be in there, but it's a good step in the right direction for long-term care people. If you know anyone in there, you know that they're starving for attention and they're starving for help. Not help in the medical way, but just that help spiritually and just visitation. So that's what we're as pastors, we're excited about that. So pray for that. Pray for that process, that reintroduction of all that stuff after having not been able to do it for so long. And so that's that. We've been at this almost a year, and so that's something to think about, something to consider, where we've been in the last year. And so pray for those people who are still out of work. Pray for those people who are looking for work. Pray for those people who are sick, that have any thing that has to do with the byproduct of what this virus has done to our economy and to our lives and to our people, to our children. Just pray for all of them. So that's what I've got. I don't, want to. I've droned on too long on that anyway. So just pray daily. Not just on Sunday, like I spoke on Sunday. Don't stop on Sunday when you leave here. Pray tomorrow too. Pray today. Blessings to you this day, on this sunshine day. Even though it's cold, it's good to see the sun. And blessings to you in your lives. And as always, I remind you to take care.